Then he can reincarnation and shoot his opponent for a lot.
Welcome back to the coverage of YCS Bochum 2015. Because we have two decks in the top 32 that are now going up against each other that make you really remember 2015. We got Burning Abyss on the one hand side, and we got Dino Shadow on the other side. I kid you not, this is going to be Flashback City. Before we go there, before we're going to talk about those two players, we're going to give you like a little bit more of the tale of the tape, how the weekend unfolded, and we're going to talk about decks some more. Let's bring up the initial metagame breakdown at the start of day one. This is what it looked like yesterday morning. Pretty diverse field with 960 players opting to play something that was not represented more than 70 times or 69 times. So Pendulum Magician #1 deck, however, the other decks played some catching up, which makes sense because there was the deck with the target on the head, so everybody else was like aiming for that. So this is after day one, after 8 rounds of Swiss. It says after round 9. I think it's after round 8. Yeah, this is going into round 9. Okay, so this is the cut. Just 444 players remaining after the first day. You can see some shifting, but we've talked about that before, so I'm not going to go over all of the changes again. This is what you've all been waiting for, the top 32 deck breakdown. I'm announcing it, and now I should also be able to show it. Here you go. So Pendulum Magician, not surprisingly, the #1 deck, but not by a lot. There's not like 16 Pendulum Magician decks in these top 32.
We see 11 total Pendulum decks shown here. We've got 2 of them opting for the FTK build. I think we even had some Zephyra sitting down there in the other category, so another non-magician pendulum strategy.
Yeah, there are actually 2 Zephyr Yangzings in the other category that we couldn't show in the deck breakdown, but they are there.
So they should kick out either dinosaurs or Paleozoic Frog.
They really should, but we can't display it on
and then there are 4 more different decks that or maybe there are also other decks. We don't know. So
just decks that didn't make it into the initial list of decks that we were expecting for the coverage, so they weren't entered by name. But we have so many decks here, like at least 10 different deck types making it to the top cut is really quite remarkable in a format that felt a bit more closed.
I mean, we definitely have 2 of those decks locked up. It's Burning Abyss, that one player is playing, and Dino Shadow. So they are also in the other category. So it's just 2 more decks missing from that statistics. But overall, very, very nice. Let's quickly look at the country breakdown, but only... Sorry, guys, that's the initial country breakdown.
Something still important about the deck breakdown is that we do our predictions during the meta discussion, and we always have pretty wild deck choices for what we would like to win.
This was one of those weekends where it would have made sense to go with something wild.
Both me and Thomas went with kind of weird ones. Thomas went with Dino Shadow, and I said I'd like Mech Knights to win, and they're both in the top 32.
That's true, yeah.
That's just crazy. That's unheard of.
All right, let's look at the country breakdown in the top 32. Germany, of course, most represented country. They had more than 1,200 players, so every 100th duelist from Germany that came to this event, 1 out of 100 made it into the top 32. Talk about some interesting number games.
That's scary to think.
Italy throwing their weight around here. 1 in 10.
Yeah, exactly.
The Italian entrance of the tournament.
Almost 1 in 10. Yeah. So if you're Italian, there's a much better chance that you make it to the top cut. It's just like 1 in 10.
Automatic.
Or 1 in 11. Let's say 1 in 11. Germany, it's 1 in 100. But only for this weekend. France had 87 players, 2 made it. UK had 80 players, 2 made it, and so on.
We used to never get any for the UK in the top cut. Like most YCSs.
The standout numbers here, comparing this to other events. Greece, only 1 player, because all the Greek players are extremely competitive, so sometimes we have 2, 3 Greek players in the top 32. This is one standout number. And Spain, 2 players, because very often we don't see players from Spain doing so well. We actually just featured somebody from Spain in our last round of Swiss. He's one of the 2 players, obviously, that advanced to the top 32, and he pointed out that he's actually from Tenerife and not from mainland Spain. So
as was the other Spanish player who's even made it to the top cut.
So it's like that little island they are sending the top Spanish players.
I've been to Tenerife.
Oh yeah,
me
too.
Place.
Very nice place.
Nice place.
I mean, if we were to just take per capita in the top cut, Tenerife is on a real strong performance here.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right, guys. So you know all of that. I mentioned what the decks are going into this match. We're going to have Niklas Krebs on the one-hand side from Germany. He's the Dino Shadow player. His opponent is Pietro Fiorito from Italy, and he's the Burning Abyss player. I think you know everything you need to know. We don't have any expert opinions about these two decks because we were not expecting these two decks.
Not at all.
So, having said all of that, this is going to be a surprise. This is going to be entertaining. Let's take you to the top 32 feature match. So here we have Niklas on the left. I think we featured him before. I remember his name popping up. Pietro, I have to say, I don't think I ever featured him before. Maybe you guys did in London or something. I'm not sure about that.
No, I don't recognize him, to be honest.
All right. Well, let's see. Who wants to go first here? Everybody.
So both of these players will want to be taking first here, but only one of them able to. Niklas has had a really spectacular result through the Swiss rounds of this tournament. He finished up just 4th place after round 11.
I think he was first place up until the very last round.
I think we may have misspelled Pietro's name here. I think it's Fiorito, not Florito. Just because I've been able to look up his win rate, and his name is Fiorito on here.
It's actually an I.
Oh, is it?
It's
Am I
not-
just blind and I can't see it?
It's really hard to make out.
Okay.
It's almost the same, but it's we
Fiorito, anyway.
did not misspell him.
Yeah, so anyway. So the win rates of these two players...
Very active, both of them.
Yeah, they're pretty active. So Niklas, 60% win ratio. That's
Okay.
pretty good. That is pretty good. Anything above 50 is generally pretty good.
We see a really unfortunate start from Pietro here. He's had his Pot of Desires as his only route back into the game. Getting Ash Blossomed, forced to just set Twin Twisters and pass. Now, that isn't a particularly strong play into a deck that doesn't play many spells and traps at all.
It's not exactly explosive, and he's got a second Twin Twisters, and like you pointed out, it's not the card you're looking for.
Yeah. That non-explosive play doesn't line up with his win rate in comparison. However, he's got a 70% win ratio.
Wow.
Which is, that's pretty strong over a lot of regionals and YCS Rimini as well.
It's like close to legend status.
Yeah, I think anything over like 75 to 85 is pretty insane.
It's cream of the crop.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Niklas has an opening thanks to that hand trap. That was really crucial.
And a counter with another Ash Blossom, shutting down the Predaplant play there. Ash Blossom for both players
Yeah,
here
turnabout
has
is
been
fair
really
play here.
huge.
Right. So Niklas with the left arm offering.
He gets the grass, and with an extra 10 cards gone from Pietro's deck, there are going to be a lot of cards sent to the graveyard here, and we're really going to see exactly what happens when this Dino Shadow deck has all its cards to play with.
This might already be over here. This is pretty significant.
Yeah, considering that Pietro just has
Yeah,
Twin Twisters.
Yeah. Considering that, yeah.
It's not going to be a record 32 mils, but it's not going to be far off it.
Yeah. I don't think he needs 32 in that situation. Yeah, they just do it like face up.
Please do them face up. There we go.
Kiwi's, he's like speeding things up.
Shadow Dragon.
The Shadow Dragon will even be able to take out that one set Twin Twisters.
Oh my god. It's just adding insult to
Hasn't
injury
been
again.
looking good actually after the Shadow
There's
Dragon.
a
Oh,
snow.
the snow.
There's another
Overtex.
snow, which doesn't matter.
Beast. And that's another
It's an,
dinosaur.
oh, yeah,
So there will
over
be at least 3 effects to activate on the chain here, with the Overtex, the Shadow Dragon, and the Shadow Beast all triggering.
Yeah.
Love it. I love Shadow Beast. It's just so good.
Luke is continuing his mission of not getting any fans.
Sorry. I wish it was 2015 again. That was my format, man.
Stuck in the past.
That was my format.
All right, so they double check the cards a few more times. The sad Twin Twisters are getting taken out. So Pietro is just left with Twin Twisters and Scam Malebranch of the Burning Abyss in his hand. And there were 2 Fairy Tale Snows with infinite cards in the graveyard.
This
to
game
feed
is
them.
done.
Yes, here we go. This is a very bold prediction from Thomas, who's usually never using his calm, but even he goes that far and he says, yes, this match is over. So
But only the game.
Oh,
we can't speak for the whole match yet, but
very good interruption there. You're right. So these guys are in one part of the bracket where in the next round they're either gonna go up against Alberto Marazzi, who is from Italy, or Emilian Sparsov, who is the sole Hungarian player who is in the top 32 this weekend. So very interesting. As always, the bracket is very interesting to watch because we can see who might be able to end up in the finals, going up against who. If we look at some of those other names, just gonna bring those up while we wait for the conclusion of that first game. Jesus, keep mixing up those names. Stefano Mimoli, as I mentioned earlier, is in the top 32. Former European champion, playing Trickster. He's playing against one of the Spanish players, against Oliver Vera Delgado, who's also playing Trickster. That's going to be interesting. In an entire different corner of the bracket. Maybe I can find the other Spanish player just to see if there's a chance that they meet each other in the finals.
Adrian Labrador.
Yeah, he is. So there is a chance
they're on separate ends of the
for an
bracket.
all-Spanish final. It's just a mini story unfolding this weekend. Way too early to push that one. Christopher Nilson, the sole remaining player from Denmark, playing Pendulum Magician. He's going up against Sebastian Siebeck with Pendulum Magician. We've had him on the feature match before.
Yes, we saw Sebastian just earlier today, I believe.
I think it was a third game only that we saw from him against... Was that against Samir? Yeah, I think so.
We also have Magnus Frafjord, who was in the...
From Norway?
From Norway, yeah. He was in the LLDS finals in London.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that was...
So a nice back-to-back. Almost back-to-back. Right.
Yeah, pretty much all of these names in this top 32, that's pretty much all. There's quite a lot of them that I recognize.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
Alessandro Longo and Daniele Stella, for example, they are going up against each other. Both Italian players that were very successful before. When you compare that to Marcus Patel, who was going up against Marco Perico, another Italian player, who's basically, by the way, playing World Chalice. My God.
There's another one of the other decks.
Yeah.
World Chalice. Wow.
Yeah, we're just finding them one by one.
What a diverse meta.
Is that a Gemini FTK as our last other deck making in?
Yeah, I think we got all of our other decks.
Yeah.
We just I just have to write those down so we can make sure we can feature those. Guys, as always, if you want to see something for the future feature matches, just let us know. All right. Is that game over by now? It is. Our prediction has come true. It is 1-0 for Niklas Krebs. Good start.
Yeah, Niklas really couldn't have hoped for any better there. A brick from the Burning Abyss player after we saw that Ash Blossom coming down. And then, despite the Ash Blossom to interrupt his own Predaplant combo, left arm into grass, just showing exactly why that grass looks greener is now limited.
There's one player who, I just have to mention these stories. Dean Chibani, if I remember correctly, was the player who played a Light Sworn deck with only 40 cards. So, let's call it traditional Light Sworn rather than the more modern version with the 60 cards. And he came very, very close. He's 38th. So it was only a matter of tiebreakers. If we had a couple less players showing up for this tournament, he would have been in the top 32.
Yeah, in fact, just
we saw players with 9 wins stretching quite a way down. I think almost to 50th place.
45, yeah. 45.
About half of the people who had 27 points made it, and the other half didn't. That's quite rare for it to be such a large amount of players on the same win rate to not make it.
It also must feel terrible. Like, if you only lose twice in such a big tournament and you're missing out by just a bit. And Ben Sherman, for example, from the UK, another player we featured before a couple of times, also did not make the cut just for tie-break reasons.
Yeah, it's such a painful place to find yourself. You can feel like you've done everything that you can. I've been there. I know lots of my friends have been there. You see other people with the same record, they get in, you do not. You have to really work hard to pick yourself back up and go back it again for the next tournament.
Right. So looking at the side decks of these guys, Pietro is having Gameciel, that's Chaos Hunter. Pretty certain it's Chaos Hunter, we're not 100%.
Kaiju.
Kumangos, another Kaiju. That's
Vanity's Fiend?
Vanity's Fiend. Demone is probably Fiend.
Yeah, Demone della Vanitia.
Vanita,
Vanity's Fiend.
Then Interrupted Kaiju Slumber.
Anti-magic.
Anti-magic's anti-spell fragrance.
Yeah, and then evenly matched.
Evenly matched, yeah. He put one card down in English just to make it easier for us.
There are a lot of cool card names in Italian, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the Black Rose Dragon. Drago Rosa Nera. It's like the most Italian name in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's just like 3 words. One follows the other, and obviously dragon, red, dragon, rose, and black. Just in that different order.
It's complete reverse of the English name.
It's honestly, it's like somebody used Google Translate and then decided we should have the order reversed.
Yeah, switch it around just to add a bit of flair.
just to make it a bit different.
I like a lot the German cards that are just the same in English, but like reversed and attached into one word.
Of course, attached into one word.
That's
It's
my
a
favorite.
compound noun. All right, this time it's gonna be Niklas kicking things off, and he just had a gigantic field.
His opening hand.
Very
looked pretty good.
surprised to see that. I was expecting
Pietro going first?
to choose to play first here.
Well, he's gonna try and come back with these kaijus. I guess he does have 2 ghost ogres.
And 2 kaijus, and only 1 Burning Abyss card
Yeah.
in the hand.
We've not actually seen much Burning Abyss, have we?
No, that's still an understatement. We've seen next to no Burning Abyss. All right, Niklas has Giant Rex, Brilliant Fusion, Predaplant, Off-Risk Scorpio, and Ultimate Conductor Tyranno in hand.
Our boy Dante needs to stop being in the extra deck and come out and see us.
Yeah. It's just a roll call.
Yeah. Dante, Virgil on the...
Dante, your plane is
on
about
the
to
loop.
leave.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's waiting for you. Please board now. Yep, there is the first interruption. So how clutch are those hand traps in this matchup?
Well, had it been an Effect Veiler or an Ash Blossom, that would have been very, very strong for Pietro. But Ghost Ogre isn't the best in this matchup. You hope to be catching something like Uni Zombie, but in this case, we don't even see any of the zombie cards in the Shadow Dinosaur deck.
He's doing it. Oh, he didn't. He totally didn't. Oh, I interrupted you for no reason. I thought he was playing Shadow Fusion.
Shadow Fusion wouldn't have done much here with no extra deck monster on the field for Pietro.
It only felt like you could activate it for free. It wasn't actually for free. You had
I know.
your
I just
opponent
got
had to have this extra.
all right, guys. I got excited. Okay, I
Yeah.
got excited. I just wanted to see Shadow Fusion.
Hold your horses.
I really want to see Shadow Fusion too, and it looks like we might need to wait for another round, but I feel like Niklas is likely to be progressing on through this event. Pietro is in a very tough spot right now.
In case you do not like Shadow, don't worry, guys. We're not going to feature him next round. There are a couple of other options to explore in the top 32.
Oh yeah.
Especially those Sephra guys, for example.
Yeah, Zephyra. Zephyra is super cool.
All right.
Oh,
Niklas
here
is
it comes.
on a roll. He's just going at it.
Is it a good time? Is it a bad time?
if he draws Beast, I'm on board. Doesn't draw Beast.
Doesn't.
Okay, Drivers are going back. Brilliant Fusion's going back.
So, is that a good use of Saryuya?
He didn't have many other options with the cards that he had on field at the time. And so he's searching for new plays that might give him some level of interaction.
So it's different
Definitely a strong move.
from those other situations that we saw. Okay, that is it. Not the best opening. He does have a Shadow Fusion now.
And a second Burning Abyss monster.
This is how you do it. Top decking like a boss. Pietro Fiorito finds an opening here. And
Here's
suddenly
a boy.
It's my boy
everything is
Dante.
different. Yeah.
Here he is.
Talk about like turning a game upside down. He talked about that Kaiju that he had in hand, 2 of them in fact. He did have the Ghost Ogre
The Fiendish Rhino Warrior.
to stop his opponent. And now he's going for it. Suddenly that Burning Abyss deck is like shifting gears, going into overdrive. Just all of that just because of Dante.
Yeah, as much as at the start of the event, I was so desperate for Dino Shuttle to winning. Just watching Burning Abyss
Yeah.
play brings back some fond memories.
Burning Abyss is the single best investment for your money if you got the cards when they were first released. This deck was playable for
it is.
1.5 or 2 years, and even after it was originally considered, officially considered playable, it was still playable with Vallon, Leturt winning Prague with it. And then the next year when people said, okay, last year was a fluke, this deck is definitely, this is it. This is the final nail in the coffin. The deck is absolutely gone. Vallon just went to the top 4 again with Burning Abyss.
That was super cool.
And Pietro must have felt like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So he's that guy this weekend with Burning Abyss in the top 32 of YCS Bochum 2018. Oof. You cannot,
Burning Abyss.
You know,
It just doesn't go away.
in a way, I cannot help but feel bad for Stefan. Like, he had a okay opening. He was like, yeah, he didn't know that his opponent didn't have a way to summon Dante before he drew.
The Seer not yet being activated leaves him with some very strong options for main phase 2. He can link 2 into an Underclock Taker, use the Seer effect to get back the Dante, and the Dante effect to get back another Burning Abyss monster, enabling him to summon out that Beatrice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Burning
Abyss learned some new tricks.
Yeah. This absolutely just reminds me of Burning Abyss in general. The way they play and the way they have stuck around for so long really is just their play style. Constantly been able to recycle their resources. And
nice
around forever.
final field that he ends on, Pietro Fiorito. And just a few moments ago, you said, I think Niklas is going to advance.
I thought the Niklas had this one. With only one Burning Abyss monster in Pietro's hand, he wasn't able to make that Dante. He didn't have any actual threats to put onto the board. The best option it looked like he had at the time was to summon a Kaiju monster to each side of the field, but that isn't developing his game anywhere.
That's not helping.
That second level 3 Burning Abyss monster enabling him to get into the Dante really shook this up.
But can we cue Luke here? Are we gonna see the Shadow Fusion now?
Yeah, I think it's time. He's going to get it for freebie as well. Just like back in 2015.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day.
Yeah,
we summoned fusion monsters for free.
Earlier that excitement was a bit premature.
Yeah.
But I think now we are on point.
Yeah.
Let's see. There it is. Yes. Shadow Fusion coming down. And this is the moment when it's perfectly fine to take a break, get up from the feature match table and walk around the venue. Just to like really have it settled down and like have just work through what just happened.
Yeah.
Now, Shadow Fusion is so huge in this dinosaur deck. Being able to send the Overtex Coatless to summon Winder.
Yeah.
And then searching for the double evolution pill behind it.
Niklas is pleased with himself. And he should be.
Yeah,
he should be absolutely pleased with himself here.
Is that Dragon that I see as well? No, that's not going to be much use right now.
Yeah, it's the Shadow Dragon sent as the Shadow material for Winder.
Yeah, surprising he didn't send Beast. Maybe he sided it out.
So now he's got a Snow, which is pretty active with a couple of cards in his graveyard. Currently it looks like there is no graveyard, but wait a second, it's going to come back. Here we go. And now he's got the Winder. How much trouble is a Winder?
Winder is a really huge problem for the Burning Abyss deck. Yep. Only one special summon per player per turn whilst it's face up on the field.
Oh, this is sending me back. If we had Fairy Tale Snow in 2015, oh dear, that would have been ridiculous.
Did we lose you for the rest of this cast?
Just Shaddolls.
Yeah, you're
brings me back.
Hanging in there.
Yeah. Brings me back.
Look, you can cry. It's okay.
No, I gotta keep it together.
We got tissues.
I actually have a great story about a friend who topped YCS Madrid with Shaddolls and didn't know that you could activate Construct's effect when you soul charged it back until we got to the top 32. He made the top 32 and then I told him and he was like, what? He didn't even realize.
Here we see the Winder effect getting back that Shadow Fusion when it goes to the grave for the Link summon. So even if Pietro is able to overcome what he's about to be staring down from this double evolution pill, there's another Shadow Fusion in the tank.
Yeah.
And it's still free. It's still free.
Yeah.
Oof.
And the thing is, I remember way back when the thing that you would do against Shuttle Fusion would be using things like Book of Eclipse or Book of Moon to put your monster face down. You can't even do that to Link monsters, so you're definitely gonna.
Yeah.
He is, of course, able to banish that Link monster from his field for the activation cost of Fairy Tail Snow. So there is still means to play around the activation.
Cool. That would be a cool way of doing it. But do you really want to give up your monster?
You don't want to, but sometimes it can be the lesser of two evils.
Yep. When one of those evils is Shuttle Fusion, then yeah.
Yeah, things are not going well for Pietro Fiorito. You can actually tell a little bit by the body language he's not very pleased with what's happening here.
Yeah. He does still have a Kaiju and a couple of Burning Abyss monsters, though.
Yeah, there
Also,
are options.
you're building a deck that is designed to beat the popular decks in the field. You're saying, I'm going back to Burning Abyss. I have a build that can help me against Pendulum Magician.
Yeah.
And then you end up in the top 32. So this is where you expect to almost only play Pendulum Magician, and then your opponent is playing Dino Shadow.
Yeah.
There's no more disappointing experience, I think.
No. This is actually a really good point, by the way, you just brought up that we really should have spoke about already. That a lot of the time people are building their decks so that when they get to the top 32, they're winning against the meta decks. Because the field is so diverse, that's going to be shaken up so much that it is opening up that possibility of more rogue decks being able to win. Because all of the pendulum decks are going to get kicked out early on in the top cut.
And we do see even that only 1/3 of the top cut is made up by those Pendulum Magician decks to start with.
I wouldn't be surprised if we have like 4 different decks in the top 8 this weekend.
Yeah.
This is one of those times where it seems kind of unlikely that we only end up with like one deck in the top 8 or 2 decks in the top 8, something like that.
It's impossible to beat the European Championships in Amsterdam.
Diversity.
Actually, the first time that we did the live stream,
Right.
We had 4 different decks in the top 4 in Amsterdam.
I remember we had one tournament where we had 8 different decks in the top 8.
Oh, really? When was? Do you remember
I
that?
think so. I don't remember which deck it was, which tournament it was, but I'm pretty certain we had that once.
Yeah, I distinctly remember the Amsterdam one. It was like Bujin, Light Swan, Mermail. That was Eugen playing Mermail.
Yeah.
And then something else. I can't remember what the something else was. But yeah, that was it was great.
Okay, so currently it looks like Niklas might be taking this. What can Pietro do to hang in there?
Well, Pietro is considering Fairy Tail Snow here. He chose not to activate it earlier in response to the Shadow Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps that could have been a mistake on his part, but he certainly has that resource available to him. He can shut down the rank 4 play that's shaping up on the other side of the board here. But in response, the Ultimate Conductor flipping down the snow and eating a Ghost Ogre.
This is a big chain.
Yeah, so many things happening here. Another Ultimate Conductor.
He just keeps going. Niklas is like, there's no end in sight.
The Ultimate Conductor effect will be able to take out all of the monsters for Pietro. Underclock Taker reducing the opposing Underclock Taker down to 0 attack points. So there will be 5,500 damage coming in here just from the Ultimate Conductor.
Yeah. Is it enough? No, not yet, right?
No, I think this is enough for game, unless there's sufficient material for another summon on the snow. So the Ultimate Conductor hits for 35 over Underclock, 1,000 each over the 2 set monsters.
2 of the set monsters, yeah. Mm-hmm.
If there's not enough cards to summon that snow again...
That's 5/5 just from the Ultimate Conductor right now.
The Underclock and the Fairy Tail Snow for 2850 would be game.
Yeah, Snow, I keep forgetting this about the card. It also has pretty reasonable attack stat.
Yeah.
A big problem for the Trickstar deck, being 50 attack bigger than the largest monster that they conventionally play.
So basically 5/5 damage just with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and then it's 2/5 missing, and we have 2,850 on the field. However, Pietro is able to bring Snow back one more time by
banishing every
everything.
card
Yeah,
he
everything.
has.
Including cards in his hand, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
he's-
Gameciel is just entered the banished zone. Oof.
He's considering what to target with the effect of that snow. I'm not sure that was correct. If Niklas has 7 cards in his battle phase, clearly he doesn't.
I think he did it to make... No. I take that back. I take back what I didn't say. So, yeah, it's... Pietro just drew for his turn. He got a Scarm.
I think Niklas could have finished that off there. Still in his battle phase, he has enough cards on his hand, field, and graveyard combined to have just banished everything, summoned that snow once more, and put through that last bit of damage.
Yeah, of course, we got 3 cards on the field, 2 more in the hand, and then
Stacks.
couple more cards. So why didn't he go for that? I think in the end it doesn't matter, to be honest. There's Scarm being destroyed. That's the attack. And that is game, set, and match for Niklas Krebs with his Dino Shadol deck. He's very pleased with himself.
Tom's dream's still alive for Dino Shadol to win the event.
Yeah, completely torn feelings for me. I love seeing Burning Abyss, but Dino Shadol, it was my pick for the weekend, so I'm happy to see it continue.
All right, guys. Let's talk about that in the post-match analysis. Yeah, welcome back to the coverage of YCS Bochum 2018. It's like the first time this weekend we can actually catch our breath and have like a little bit of time.
Yeah.
We just saw the top 32 feature match between Niklas Krebs from Germany playing Dino Shadol. So that felt like 2015. Going up against Pietro Fiorito, who played Burning Abyss, and now it really feels like 2015.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a cool match, even though in the end it looked a little bit one-sided.
Yeah.
With the Dino Shadol doing kind of better in that Rogue Mirror match.
Yeah.
We can expect both of these decks to be constructed in a way that gives them an edge over Pendulum Magician.
Yeah.
This is the deck that you wanted to beat this weekend. And then sometimes it just so happens that the Rogue decks, as we often call them, are going up against each other, and suddenly it's about different things. It's no longer about interruption for the most popular deck. It's suddenly about stability, like how this deck is gonna work.
Yeah.
And we have to give it to Dino Shadol. It was working like a well-oiled clock.
I think Shadol Fusion again showed why Shadols are still on the Forbidden Unlimited list. Shadol Fusion was insane there. Every time he played it, it was
Devastating.
It was devastating. Exactly.
There
That's
we go.
exactly how to do it. It was just so good, and advantage gain after advantage gain, and then even when Window was left, not even it was on his own accord. It was getting back the Shadol Fusion to be played again.
Yeah.
I'm really worried that Pietro might have missed a trick with not activating that Fairy Tale Snow Engrave just to go to any measure possible, taking an extra deck monster off his field before the resolution of that Shadow
It
Fusion.
reminds me of those Shadol mirrors where players did have a monster summoned from the extra deck, and they got rid of their own monster just to make sure that the opponent cannot
Tribute
get the
set the Shadow
Tribute
Beast
set
Beast.
over the construct.
Yeah, that was the play.
Which the first time you saw that, it seemed like a really
was like,
bad
what?
move.
Why?
Like, why
Yeah.
would you do that? And it
Yeah.
all made sense in the grand scheme of things, just making sure that your opponent doesn't get that free summon.
Yeah, absolutely. And
in this match,
it's been forgotten. It's been forgotten over time.
It's a forgotten art.
That was such an impactful move just 2 or 3 years ago.
Did he see Shadols until that point? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, he could have reacted the first time the fusion comes down. He's like immediately like Snow, and but then Snow is on the field. If the opponent, that's a big if the opponent is able to drop enough from his hand to resolve the fusion, then there's a Snow that is not going to do anything after that because now all the material is gone. So there's an argument to be made for both. Although I guess it's always better.
Well,
than losing to a freeze.
I remember back then you would sacrifice so much to stop your opponent from playing Shadol Fusion.
Yeah.
And with only very few Shadows in the decks being played now, it's unlikely that there will be a Shadow in hand. If there is no Shadow in hand and you're able to use Snow to prevent the resolution of Shadow Fusion, you actually get access to knowledge of your opponent's hand. They're forced to reveal that they don't have a material to be able to fusion summon successfully. And once you get to this level in a tournament...
But again, tell that to somebody preparing for this tournament.
Yeah.
So you just played like the 15th match with your Burning Abyss deck against Pendulum Magician, and then one of your friends is like, by the way, if you're playing against Shadow, like this is never gonna be...
I don't have time for this information. I need to beat Pendulum.
This is not a conversation that's ever gonna be had during playtesting.
Yeah, that's true. That was so 3 years ago. I don't need to worry about that.
You have to be very, very quick on your feet and immediately realize, wait, everything I knew about these matchups for this weekend, I have to forget and bring back my 3-year-old memories.
I've got this image now of Pietro just sitting there and then seeing Shadow Fusion. You know, when you have those like flashbacks in TV shows, just goes... like back to him he's like 3 years younger, he's sat at his locals and he's playing, I've got my Dante, and his opponent drops down the Shadow Fusion construct, bam, and just completely annihilates him. Just comes back to reality and goes, no, Fairy Tales, no,
not again.
That would have been the perfect TV moment.
That would have been, with a cutscene and everything.
Yeah, with a little cutscene,
flashback and black and white, and
in black and white.
We did not have that this weekend, but
look at the beautiful colours we have on the live stream now.
Niklas will look back and remember fond memories of that Shadow
he's
Fusion.
like, and then we're gonna have the second cutscene of Niklas going back, and he was the one back in those days who was like, I can do it again.
Stood with constructs like, rah,
All right, guys. We have Niklas at the ready, so we're gonna take a very quick break. Bring in the winner from this round's feature match, Niklas, who is the first top 16 player of YCS Bochum 2018.